My relationship with basketball, a love-hate relationship at times. It's brought me a lot of joy, brought me a lot of pain, a lot of injuries, at the same time experienced a lot of great things.
Luke Ryan Jackson, born November 6, 1981. I've always said the toughest thing to do for most on the athletic life journey is figuring out what to do after those athletic days are over. You've worked so hard on that one craft, dialed your focus into that single thing year in and year out, developed your body to be the best fitted for that sport, and all your life memories from the past centers around what you were doing in that sport at that age, where all your time was spent. Transitioning into another life can feel like a hamster in a fish tank, no longer on that wheel chasing the thought of being better and faster than the last gallop. Now you're off that and floating into who are you now? Or that person that sinks under the fact you realize in the real world, everyone else is ahead of you because you haven't been preparing for this world like they have since leaving high school. Whether you make the NBA or not, we all have that moment where the game is over. The sneakers are put away in a closet collecting dust. You went from sleeping with the basketball to having stacks of them in a corner somewhere at home and go months without even seeing them. Then who are you? Today's feature was aware this day would come sooner than most NBA players as he began his career in the league a damaged prospect, only playing 10 games his rookie season, missing the final 52 after having an operation to repair a herniated disc. In his second season, he played just 36 games due to another surgery to repair a broken left wrist in his shooting hand. At that point, Jackson says he's always known he was 1 foot in and 1 foot out the NBA and that his career would most likely end much sooner than many expected. He entered the league a mature 23-year-old after having spent 4 years at the University of Oregon, where he became a star by just his sophomore year, helping in leading his team to the Elite Eight as a second option to high flyer Fred Jones. When Jones graduated, he and Luke Ridnour starred leading the Ducks to the tournament once again before a stellar senior year for Jackson and eventually a 10th overall pick by the Cavaliers in 2004. The Cavs selected Luke to pair with LeBron James going into his second year after being the most hyped prospect, having immediate success, and clearly the guy to build the team around. But that pairing never really materialized, and Luke Jackson didn't last long in that role, traded after 2 seasons, dealing with more issues, demoted to the D-League, playing more games there than in the NBA. He never quite caught on in the league, and for these reasons was out of it by 26 years old. What happened? Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth. Let's get it, man. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. Luke Jackson, born in Eugene, Oregon, was a 6'7" guard in college, small forward in the NBA, and star for Questwell High School in Lane County, Oregon, winning the State Player of the Year in '98 and the year 2000. He also won a Class AAA state championship, finishing top 5 all-time in Oregon high school history in total points. He chose to stay close to home and attend the University of Oregon, where he and Ridnour joined junior Fred Jones, highlighted by their 01-02 tournament Elite Eight run. Luke, over his 4-year career, became known as a big wing that could also play down low and, most importantly, shoot lights out at 40% for his career from 3, leading college basketball in win shares, made field goals, and three-point percentage with a career-high 44% from deep. It's no wonder he was taken 10th overall and seen as a good fit next to LeBron. Stunt number 1, NBA draft style. The first and one of the main reasons Luke Jackson only lasted what adds up to less than a full season in the NBA was because of the way the NBA is set up versus college basketball, specifically the NBA draft. Any drafting system leaves the person being selected susceptible to the misfortune of going to a place you wouldn't have chosen if the choice was yours, a place that just doesn't fit your skill set. when speaking about the game of basketball, and one of the biggest differences between NBA and amateur sports, where you're drafted plays the most important role to your success. Because being in the NCAA, you get to process being recruited for years and years and are able to sit down with advisors, your family, coaches, visit the school and feel the atmosphere, watch the team and determine if their style fits your game. Literally everything is given to you when you're a player like Luke was leaving high school, where he averaged 24 points, 8 assists, and 5 steals as a senior. The choice was his. He got the chance to sit down and choose a program close to home, alleviating the transition struggles of becoming an adult so far from what you know, a program he could come in and by year 2 be a significant contributor, sit behind Fred Jones a few years and be able to develop and be at least a 3-year starter, with it being his team at some point down the road. For these reasons, it was easy to succeed as Oregon planned for his star future opposed to the NBA. In the league, you're sent wherever they tell you to go, and for Luke, his first time away from home in his life. He also got drafted to a team whose star player happens to be the biggest phenom ever in basketball, who won the Rookie of the Year and in just year 2. They drafted Luke because he was a guy that could score with size, except they already had a scorer with size in LeBron James, the ultimate scorer with size. Between he and Luke Jackson, also older than LeBron, who would you give the ball to utilize that scoring with size ability? Meaning Luke wouldn't have gotten much opportunity to control the ball and create anyway. He was only brought in to sit on the wing and shoot spot-up threes delivered by LeBron. The Cavs weren't a good fit, but he had no choice. If he did, no question, he wouldn't have went there. Utah, Denver, or Seattle would have been better fits. Stunt number 2, 1 foot out the door. Another reason Luke didn't have the same success in the NBA as he did in college was due to immediate and constantly being injured. He never really had both feet planted any season of his NBA career. As a rookie, he only played 10 games because of a herniated disc in his lower back that forced him to basically miss the entire season. In year 2, he broke his wrist and had to have another surgery, his second in 2 years, that forced only 36 games played in 05-06. In both seasons, he was non-productive in his time on the floor. But while around the team, he soaked up as much as he could from the coaching staff, as he would usually attend the coaches' meetings, taking notes in a journal, which would be crucial to his career after basketball. He was a player still, but said he always knew the NBA could be a thing of the past at any moment, and in his way, was always mentally planning for it. Jackson never came into a season and finished it healthy enough to develop on course like he did in college, and by 26, 4 teams played on, and even more traded to but waived, he was finally done with playing the game and became a head coach in 2013 at Northwest Christian University at the young age of 32. Stunt number 3, a squared game. One critique I would say about Jackson's game, and where I always see the problem with players like him, is they have a squared game opposed to the smooth edges and rhythm you need to be successful on the NBA level. I say square game because in my mind that's what I see in a lot of white players. It's not being racist either, because black players have natural deficiencies as well, and that don't mean either of them can't work to be different. You know those players that always practice the same up, down, left, right drills when training. 1 dribble pull up, 2 dribble pull up, flare screens, curl screens, drop steps, fast break threes, spot shooting. These players wind up having the Luke Jackson, JJ Redick squared off game. It works in college because college basketball is squared. Most teams play a squared zone defense, needing to squared offense of pass side to side, in then back out, side to side some more, then you get to shoot, but only when you break the square and attack a seam. That won't work as a pro. In the NBA specifically, they give you the ball and say go get it, go create. Now you're lost because that 2 dribble simple pull-up won't be effective consistently. You need counter pivots, step backs, handle, crafty finishes, and rhythm to perform those moves. Luke didn't have that to his game, and it made him not stick around long as well. All in all, Luke Jackson still had a great college career and was a top 10 pick, so enjoyed a top 10 pick contract, but didn't have enough game and health to acquire a second significant deal. He played most in the D-League over his playing years and a small stint overseas before coaching, where he's had success and transitioned much better than himself as a player. Salute, much respect. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and I'm out.